Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of What's the Deal? Today is April 28th, and April flew by a little bit, didn't it? I've been stuck inside. Today we're going to be talking about MAX Digital Showroom. My name is Pat McMullen. Tim, the slide.
Oh, yeah. So I always forget the slide. We were just talking about this.
Here's my contact info if you ever need anything from me. 13 years with the company, so reach out. My slide challenge friend there, Tim.
Hey, that's me. Join our Facebook group, Live from the Back Lot, please.
And then you can see we have a special guest today.
Woo! Welcome.
Our esteemed colleague, Jack Kane, one of my favorite people in the company. He's been with us for 7 years. Jackie boy, why don't you tell the folks a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hello. Thanks for having me, gentlemen. Did you not have me on the draft episode because Bears didn't have a first-round pick, or what was the deal with that one?
We just don't like you that much, so.
Yeah.
We wanted to give you the really easy one to do this time.
Don't get too cocky, Jack. We might never invite you again.
Yeah. So, no, thanks for having me for my first time on the show, and I guess my audition now based off of what Tim just told me. But like Patrick said, I've been with the company 7 years, had a couple different roles here. Right now, I'm currently the director of dealer development. So all over the country, get to deal with a lot of you fun customers that are on the call right now, and just happy to be here talking about a great tool that we've had for a couple years now, and how it can help in these absolutely crazy times.
They are crazy.
Good intro.
Yeah, let's move to the next one. So stop the drop. That's a term that we coined. Shoot, what was that? Maybe 5-6 years ago, Tim.
In a conference room in Charlotte, North Carolina. Never forget
with
that
our good
day.
friends at Hendrick. So Tim, what does stop the drop mean, and how does it apply to what we're talking about today with Digital Showroom?
Yeah, so remember when the internet was really becoming a big part of selling cars a couple of years ago. Consumers became more and more educated, and what we found were they were spending 14 plus hours online, and they were showing up to your dealership with more information, more knowledge about the particular vehicle than your salesperson did, and that led to negotiating, right? It led to
the double discount.
The double discount. It said, if you can't prove the value in the vehicle, right, how can you defend your price? So we developed the digital showroom to, take your internet price and hold it there and stop the drop.
100%. So let's dive into it because we like to keep these short for the folks out there because we got stuff to do. So Tim, you want to dive into? Let's do a quick review on Profit Max. Just
okay, got it. So we started with the most important screen in the system, right? Profit Max. We have this 2016 Chevy Silverado. Jack, when you train your customers, what's important to a customer today who goes through the Profit Max pricing tool?
Yeah, so I mean, you obviously want to define your competitive set over there, 1, 2, 3, right? But define the competitive set. That's where you're just narrowing it down, right? We're going to cast as wide a net as possible and then allow you to bring it in. Then number 2, price in the game. So whether you're a percent to market guy, a ranked gal, unit cost, internet price, potential gross, however you look at it, we give you the ability in here. And then last but certainly not least, kind of where you guys are going with this is, all the blood, sweat, and tears that everybody on this call knows goes into getting that internet price. We're just going to validate it. So same with that person that's spending 14 hours or 500 hours right now, right? During quarantine, there's nothing else. We're just going to validate it with the books and everything else that they've learned, over their internet search, why your price is right.
Jack, we talked about this on the last episode. From a used car manager perspective, when you're pricing your inventory and you're doing those steps, and we introduced Profit Max because of that. We want the sales manager to know where he's setting his team up. So when that customer comes in and they're looking at that car, the salesperson has the ability to defend that price as well as build value. So Tim, you want to walk through kind of those different values and tell the folks what the X's and the check marks mean?
Yes. So I use the story, when my mom's shopping for a car online, she has no idea what 97%, or in this case, 102%. You certainly wouldn't say that. She would be more keen to understand, it's back of NADA or KBB or Edmunds. And we give you those proof points, and we try and make it as simple as possible. We'll tell you, the red X means that you're not beating that proof point. You're not in a position to brag about it. The green check mark says, hey, I'm doing a good job. In this case, we're $3,300 back of NADA. Way to go. The yellow triangle in this case means no one's confirmed the options on this particular book out. So you need to go in and make sure that you do, because we're not going to display that until somebody does, right? That's how that works?
Yeah, and I like that term, brag. It's like your brag book, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're setting your team up. So let's dive into the product. Let's dive into a digital showroom.
All right, so the digital showroom, right? It's maxdigitalshowroom.com. Short way to get there, maxdsr.com. We're going to use our good buddies up in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, at Rudy Luther Toyota. And what are we looking at? So let's look at a core piece of inventory, right? Let's just give
Tim, before you go on, let me ask Jack a question.
Okay.
Jack, what if you had to sum this up in 20 seconds or less? What are the biggest value points to using digital showroom over a customer website? We all our customers have their own dealer websites, but why this versus that?
Quick, easy, concise. I mean, we all have dealership websites. We have to have them. Most of the time, the manufacturer tells us who we have to have them with. They serve great purposes, but they're cumbersome. Full disclosure on the call, I'm 36 years old. Cumbersome should not be a thing in the internet. And a lot of times, you get the pop-up gal, you get, somebody trying to sell you something.
Service
this is just exactly, sorry, I'm going a little bit longer than 20 words or 20 seconds, but that's how I roll. But, what this really is I'd almost equate it more to that pricing list that we all used to put in our jacket pocket when we first started selling the industry, but in 2020, right? So we're harnessing the internet and just it's up to the minute, and it's going to give you every attribute about that vehicle. So you're not searching on the internet for a third row seat through photos. You can find that really quickly here.
So Tim, maybe this is a good spot to transition to the poll question. We like to introduce these poll questions in each one. So this is an interactive process with you folks out there online. So the question is, what's more important in today's sales process? Defending price or building value in that car? So if you guys can go ahead and click one, we'll give it a few seconds here to
That's
see.
Definitely, I like the A or B, one or the other. This is good.
This one's much better than the Super Bowl question that you asked.
No, that will go down in
with all the Boston fans.
That is the greatest poll question ever. All
so
right,
couple more seconds here. I think there's a clear winner. Why don't you go ahead and show it, Tim?
Okay, we're closing the poll, and we'll go out and share it. There we go. Woo!
So building value in the vehicle, and we talked about this ahead of time. Was in 82% versus 18%. So go ahead and pop that out. And it's almost a trick question, right? Because they're both super important. But I think building value in the vehicle, pricing is part of that, right? So let's show them how we build value and also help them defend price, Tim. So why don't you go into that example that you have?
Yeah, so I like to start with a core piece of inventory. I think in this case, let's take a look at it like a Tundra. I think trucks are going to be pretty hot here coming up. And I really like this Carolina Blue 2018 Limited for $38,400.
Matches your shirt.
It does. It's nice. But I always like to, say, hey, if you can read, you can become a product expert. So take this text right here and just get the conversation going. Good news, Mr. Customer. This is a limited Crew Max 4-wheel drive, with the TRD off-road package. I think you get the idea. When you dive in, this is where the building of the value starts. We'll highlight these. I call them little Easter eggs. These little blue boxes here. We know it's an 18 Tundra, but hey, it happens to be certified. It's the 8-cylinder with 4-wheel drive. And then, but the key here is, right, we want to pull our mouse over, where the premium packages are on this vehicle to highlight that this thing is not just like any other Tundra. it's got $2,900 worth of factory equipment.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah. So the highlights from the window sticker, crash test ratings, miles per gallon, and the guys up at RLT take advantage of our service work and RO edition. So if this is a really nice add-on to the digital showroom. Jack, do you have any customers that use this?
I do. It's big up in the Northeast. I mean, that's kind of where I sowed my oats, and they love it up there. And again, it's just building value in that vehicle, going right to that poll we just did.
Totally, absolutely.
And that's important to customers, right? It's not only we're talking about value and price, but building value in those $2,900 worth of OEM packages and equipment. And then what did the dealership do to that car when it came into inventory? This is like a recon sheet. If you had to print out a recon sheet for your customer, this is it. And this is something that we can share with the customer, so we're playing on the same page. So sorry to jump in there, Tim. Keep going.
No, good. Yeah, I mean, continue on building value, right? Carfax highlights. This car happens to be Toyota certified. I'm shopping all over a Chevy and a Ford and a Tundra. What do I get with this certification? We're going to give you the MAX ad and some highlights about the dealership. And then ultimately, right, if it does become about the price, we think we're not idiots. We get that it's going to be important, but this stuff here in the middle is all about building value. Why don't you say let's go to a non-core piece of inventory? Would that be all right? Let's just take a look. Because if we're at a Toyota store, we know our Toyotas.
We hope we know our Toyotas, but still, while you're searching for that, we've done training on this. I've been in thousands of stores doing training, and I always challenge the sales staff, especially at a Toyota store with a Toyota certified unit. I stand in front of the screen and say, hey, tell me what it means to be Toyota certified. And the biggest answer I get all the time is peace of mind. Well, I'm paying $2,500 for an additional peace of mind. Tell me exactly what it is. And Tim made reference to a joke before, like if you can read, you can build value. It's one thing for me as a sales associate to tell you what certification means, but I'm probably going to forget something. If I can point it out to you and read it to you, and you're looking at the same thing I'm reading, it plays great. And it's all about that evidence piece.
Jack, is your internet okay? You're looking a little fuzzy over there.
I know. You guys are looking fuzzy. I'm working on it.
Okay. Do they have the internet where you're at? I'm just making sure. All right, so.
Chicago's quarantine, man. We're struggling here. I'm on it.
Good.
Tim, is that another baby blue truck?
Gray. This is slate gray metallic,
slate gray.
not
Okay.
white Carolina blue. Yeah. So again, this is Silverado LT crew cab, 4-wheel drive, premium wheels. Oh, this is the All-Star Edition. I have no idea what an All-Star Edition is on a 2016 Silverado, but we're about to find out, right? Because building value is important. We're going to put our mouse over the premium packages here. So this All-Star package is $2,200.
Better have a lot of good stuff in it. What comes in that?
Okay, so let's see. We slide our mouse over the All-Star package, and again, it's got the crew cab and double cab. It's got the 10-way powered seat adjuster with bench. It's got a dual zone climate control, the remote vehicle starting system, rear vision camera, the rear window defogger. Sounds like a ton of value.
So Jack, have you ever had, when you're doing training, have you ever had somebody nail everything that's inside one of those packages? Oh, Jack's gone.
Very rare. Very rarely. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Very rarely. And you know what I normally do, and hopefully I'm not picking on anybody on the call. I try and always, during training or when I'm in store, is talk with the most established person at the dealership, just because, call them on it. Because to Patrick's point, you'd almost have to be kind of a Rain Man type person to be under, to know every package on every single unit out there.
Yeah, and in this example at a Toyota store, they probably know what the 1794 edition is or what an XSP package is down in the Southeast. But when you have, to Tim's point, when you have that off-brand come in, a Chevy Silverado, if I've been a Toyota guy my whole life, like a lot of the people are at this store, Tim, it's like reading French,
Totally. So what are some, let's talk about, I like to call it the closer. I don't,
Yes.
That's how I reference it, but our price versus market button. So they're currently priced at $27,485. So my favorite part of the tool here is we click behind this green button, okay? And I get excited about this because people, customers always want to talk about price. It's the easiest thing to talk about, and this tool does a great job of helping you defend it. So it reiterates those premium packages, right? The current internet price. Now we're only beating NADA here in this particular instance because remember, those pricing proof points weren't completed. We weren't beating them in Profit Max. But the good news is when we come down here, we're literally going to draw a picture of what the market looks like for you and your customer to go and say, listen, I get it, Mr. Customer. Look, there's more expensive ones out there. There are cheaper ones out there. Just like everybody else, we're kind of in the middle, and we are just above market price. But look, we're giving you almost $5,000 worth of equipment, so it helps you defend that price. Okay.
And I think that point that you made, Tim, about the Kelly Blue Book or the market values. If you remember on this car, it had those X's next to it. Yeah. So the more that we can do to get those to the green checks, it's only going to give your sales folks more ammunition when they're trying to defend that price. So let's move into, for time's sake, stop the drop. So that's, in theory, it's great, right? But inside of our tool, we actually have reporting that you can manage and measure this on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. So Tim or Jack, take it away and walk through stop the drop.
Yeah, go ahead, Jack. So, right here in the MAX dashboard.
Yeah, so it's right there in the MAX dashboard. You go up to reports, stop the drop, and all it is, I call this your coaching report, right? So you can measure your best versus your worst. You can toggle up at the top between the dates, and all it is coachable moments. So, kind of who's giving away at point of close, who's double discounting, because like Tim started this conversation, back in yesteryear, it was cost plus, right? And we were able to kind of negotiate off of that. Now everybody's savvy on the internet. All this is going to do is tell you, which of your guys and gals out there need some coachable moments to help them hold that value, that we talked about during that poll slide there.
Yeah. So you can see on a monthly basis, this is from November to April, on average, how much do we discount off of our online price? So if I had it priced at $19.99 and I sold it for $18.99, that would be $1,000 discount. So that drop, as we call it, is $1,000. So that's where we coined the term stop the drop. This store, as you can see, they do a phenomenal job of holding their gross. Back to that point that Tim made about the double discount. We're already pricing our cars, online to be competitive. We're pricing to sell, not to negotiate, and they do a really good job of that. And there's two different ways that you can look at this, either on a deal basis or on a salesperson basis. So back to sorry about that. Back to the coaching aspect of it, going through and seeing, do you have a salesperson that is, on average $200 drop versus a guy or girl that's $100 drop, and maybe pairing them together on a couple deals to try to help your sales staff get better.
Yeah, I don't think we don't get the salesperson transactions for RLT, but that's okay.
That's okay. It's we can. So if you have this tool, and that's one way to manage it. And then the other thing is, how do I know if my team's using it? So Tim, if we can go back to the dashboard for a second. So your dashboard right here, it's going to show your time to market to start, but over in the right-hand corner, this is how you can see if they're using it. So, obviously things have, dipped off just because of floor traffic, but you can see like when it was pretty busy, close to 600-700 views a week. So, this is
I know who I'm going to call when I get off this call.
This is great for BDCs. BDC people love this tool because, it makes them instant experts on every single vehicle that's on their lot, core or non-core. Yeah. It's a great tool. And another thing too is we're trying to help our customers out during this downtime. So if you don't have this product, this isn't a sales pitch. We're just trying to show everything. Call your rep or call one of us, reach out to one of us, and we can turn this on for you for no cost for the next couple months while we get through this pandemic. And anything that we can do to help build value to our product and for you guys to build value with the customer, we're in this together. So just let us know what we can do. If we have this tool, then we have another tool called MAX BDC that we'll probably do next week. So, you know, just let us know. We're offering products up to help you guys out during these tough times. On Thursday, Tim, we're going to have COVID market alerts inside of our system. They're going to be inside of your appraisal tool and your pricing tool. We're doing a ton of market research, a ton of analytics on, you know, where car values are going. Tim, I don't know if you got the figures from last week, but we talked about this last Thursday. Manheim usually sells about 175,000 vehicles a week through their auctions across the country. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, it was at 15,000. Last week, 19,000. I'm interested to see where the number is.
Yeah,
from,
I haven't seen
it either. But you know, 80+% decline in sales. So there's a lot of cars sitting out there, you know, idle. So we're doing our best to try to figure out, you know, where the market's going, and we're going to give you some alerts on that. So look for that on Thursday, and we'll have that as part of our episode on Thursday. Jack, anything to add?
No, thanks for having me. You know, anybody has any questions about this, feel free to reach out to me, or, you know, I can help you get to somebody on my team over here. And, you know, thank you guys for having me. This was a pleasure. Sorry about my internet.
Yeah.
Okay. Timmy, anything to add?
No, man, have a great week, and we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Yeah, thanks, Jack, for joining. I appreciate it. And thanks, everyone.
Thank
Have
you,
a great
Jack.
day.
Oh, you guys are the best. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.